Hey, everybody. Hey, Holly. Hey, Will. How are you all doing?
What's up?
All right. Holly, I sent you an email with some choices to meet with barn to door people if you get a chance to look at it.
Yeah, I did. I looked at it. I was gonna actually, and I'm really glad I didn't set a meeting up for today because you know when you wake up in the morning and you have expectations of how your day's gonna go,
Yep.
and it just literally goes off the rails at like 7:20 in the morning. That's the type of day I've had today.
I got you. Okay. Well, just pick one, and if we have to reschedule, no big deal. I just want to
Yeah,
get on their calendar because they are pretty busy, as you
yeah,
can.
no, I was going to probably try tomorrow. Were you going to jump on with me, or
Oh,
were you just going to
absolutely.
be? Okay,
Absolutely.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Do you have a preferred time tomorrow? Because I'm relatively open on their
Um,
choices.
really anything, really, for me, anything afternoon is good because I have to take the dog to the vet, and that's um, kind of a long and involved process because we live in the middle of nowhere. So,
I can almost relate.
yeah. So anything, figure afternoon, I should be okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at it right here directly, and I'll let you know um,
They're
when
they're
that's
on the
available.
they're on the West Coast, so even though some of those times go into the evening, it's fine with me if we have to do that. But their day is 3 hours longer than ours, if you will,
Yeah, yeah.
because of their
I'll
location.
I'll probably grab that 2:15 tomorrow. Did you say morning, afternoon's better?
Yeah, I can't do morning. I've got to take her to the vet in the morning, so I'm
Okay,
I'm
I'll
out.
probably grab. I'm looking at it right now. I'll grab their 2:15.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Can you tell me, can you hear me okay? Is there any problem with that? The thumbs up is fine. Okay, great. Okay, I know it's a little bit early and folks will keep coming in, but I want to get started on a couple things. And our session's not going to be super long today, but I do want it to really talk about, it's going to sound like one of those buzzwords, but customer journey. Um, and you know, I don't know if you've thought about it this way, but every business that deals with customers, whether it's an individual consumer or another business or um, however you define your customer, you actually are setting up a journey for them, and the journey. We have control over a lot of the aspects of the journey, which include, discovery. How do they find your business? And that's a whole area, particularly for online businesses that we've talked about a little bit with Google ads and Facebook ads and things like that, speed of website. But the idea of really thinking through the process, much like you would, I think of Darby as maybe more on the engineering side, where there's a lot of processes that he makes available in his business to consumers, but he's engineered the process to a great extent. So he knows what to expect when somebody starts to use the equipment or talks to him about what they want to do. He's thinking in terms of delivering a process to that individual, or a process for that individual to follow for the most part, and not necessarily super strict, but that's part of the thinking from an engineering perspective. And I want to encourage all of you, even those that might consider themselves maybe not technical or maybe more oriented toward marketing or promotion or some other level, but really think about what journey are you getting people on, and are you able to, number one, execute on that journey, which if you have an e-commerce site and somebody finds you and they end up buying a product from you, product or service, and you deliver that to them, excuse me, by definition, you have, in that instance, taken them on a journey, and the final destination in that case may be the delivery of the product. But I would argue that that's really a continuation of the journey. That is not, in fact, the end of the journey by any stretch of the imagination. And particularly if you have been able to get a customer on the basis that you're comfortable with your website, or your store, and you get them to buy something, I would argue that ideally that's the start of a journey or a continuation of the journey, because one of the things that you'll learn if you haven't already is that selling to an existing customer has a lot less friction than finding and selling a new customer. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. So the idea that, it's faster, cheaper, easier to sell an existing customer than a brand new customer, I think, we'd all kind of get that. That makes sense to all of us. So I'm not sure. I can't tell. I have ordered products from several of the teams here. When I can. I don't know if I've gotten everybody. I've tried to, but so I've been receiving packages, that I've ordered, and the various touch points, whether it's an email letting me know the order has shipped, tracking emails, actually physically receiving the item, and going through the unboxing of the product, if you will, and the looking at it and all the stuff. So I wanted to just bring this up, and it may be something that we talk about again. This is not a one and done type of thing, because there's a lot that goes into it. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to share a couple examples that I thought were pretty good. And this is not from any of our companies. These are other companies that I've been involved with in one way or the other. So I wanted to kind of show you the experience that I went through with the products I received to give you some insight and some idea. And I also want to make sure we talk about, you know, when you're a small business, often you're trying to develop some sort of niche or some sort of aspect of their customers' lives that you're handling. You know, when you look at Amazon or Walmart or even, you know, Target, any of these larger stores, their business is really quite different. Their business is much broader. I would argue it's not necessarily custom or quote nice, you know, compared to a lot of your all's offerings. But so if you order something from Amazon, which I do, like everyone else, you know, the delivery is pretty straightforward. It comes in a box. Sometimes the box is way bigger than the product that's inside it, in which case it's jam-packed full of those air bubble things or other shrink wrap or something. I haven't quite figured out why some of the boxes are so big. But the unboxing experience is really kind of, it's really not a part of the experience. It's kind of minimal. There's very little branding in the box. It says Amazon on the tape on the outside, but you open it up and whatever it is you've ordered is inside. Not rarely is there any inserts or any other kind of information. So, you know, I'm not saying that that's bad. They've obviously proven that it works for them, but I'm not sure that that's the example that I would like for you all. I think that your businesses are not Amazon, obviously, and you are somewhat focused or niche focused, I guess, or looking for markets that are very serviceable and addressable by your product offering. So I wanted to just cover that. We haven't talked a lot about it. So I'm going to show you a couple items I got. We'll see how this goes. I think I'm going to end up, we'll see if I can do this with the camera. So just bear with me for a little bit if I figure this out. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Sorry about this. Let me try it this way. Okay. Can everybody see that okay? Thumbs up. Okay. So this is a company that I ran across that, let's see if I can do this right here. Okay, I see. All right, so I've got to kind of flip it around a little bit. This is a company that, sorry about this, guys. This is a company that specializes in, believe it or not, hats that they sell, and it's in support of mental health. Their entire business is about helping folks that have mental health issues. They built their whole business around that cause, that social cause. So I just wanted to share kind of how they deliver stuff. So to keep in mind, this is just a product that I bought. It's not somebody I'm involved with in any way other than that. So I'm going to unbox it. Hopefully you guys can see it. So the first thing I wanted to point out, if this will actually video, I don't know if it will. So this is the box, and it's a white box, and the name of the company is Wirth, W-I-R-T-H, and they have that branding on their box, which is not common. I don't see that often where the actual box, most boxes come just in the kind of traditional brown, brown box or whatever that's called. But these guys do use a logo on their box. It's on two sides, if you can see it, hopefully. And then when you open the box, and hopefully we can do this in a way that makes sense. So you can see that the hat, if you will, has a white tissue paper, and in this case they're promoting their brand Worth, and the item has a little tag on it with a description of to kind of reinforce what they're doing, their mission, so to speak. And also in the box, they have a couple of items. They have your invoice. If hopefully, I don't know if you guys can see this too well. So there's the invoice, kind of standard, nothing fancy there, not customized or anything, just kind of a standard invoice. And then they have a little postcard that basically talks about thanking me for ordering it and reinforcing their message about what they're trying to do. And it has contact information. It has an email address and maybe a Twitter handle. I'm not quite sure, but they're communicating to me in this delivery of this product, which is really just a hat, right? And they also include a decal, which I suppose I can put on a window or on my laptop or whatever. I haven't really thought about where something like that would go. But the customer journey with these folks in terms of the product that they delivered, is pretty straightforward. And I think you can appreciate the simplicity of it. And I personally don't think, other than the white box with the logo, which I would imagine has some expense compared to just a plain box, I didn't see anything there that I thought was very expensive to do. I think their little note was very well done. It's professionally printed, I think, and they have information to connect me with the brand. Like I mentioned, the email address or the Twitter address or whatever web address. So I think that's to me is a very high quality deliverable, but not super expensive. Anybody have any thoughts or comments on that at this point? Okay. All right. So this other one, now some of you may know this company, and I apologize. I cannot remember the name of the person, the woman. It's actually a boyfriend and girlfriend, I think. Let me see if I can get this where you can see it with any luck. Okay. So I know that's out of focus. There we go. So this is a company called Bite, B-I-T-E, and they're in California. And it so happens that this woman who owns this company is an ECU grad. She graduated, I believe, in 2007. I have not connected with her. I would like to. But this company makes, to make it simple, an alternative to toothpaste, as crazy as that sounds. And they operate out of their apartment in California. And in their first year, they did 10 million in sales out of their apartment, which is pretty crazy. So I decided to order this product just to kind of see how they did it. Not that I'm looking for alternatives to toothpaste personally, but you can see this is a pretty straightforward. They mailed it by USPS, even though it's coming from California. They got some labels on here, parcel select. Some of you may know more about that than I do. But their box, while it is that brown craft paper, it does have a little bit of stuff on it. Like this is the underside, I guess, that reinforces. Sorry if this is blurry. I don't know how to make this work better, but it has some messaging on there about their brand that's on the box. And they have a little hashtag. I don't know if you can see that. Try to get in on that. It basically says hashtag kick the tube. Now it's a little hard to read. And then on the side, they also have their web URL and their logo, which is just a text logo of Bite. So from a packaging perspective, not a heavy duty expense, I don't think, at least on this level. But let's open up. So it opens up pretty easily. And what's interesting about it is it opens up really featuring their brand. So they've spent a lot of time on the inside of the box as opposed to the outside. So they got a little greeting, hi, we're a Bite, and the hashtag kick the tube, thanks a billion, and they go through their message of how toothpaste, creates so much plastic waste. A billion toothpaste tubes end up in our landfills and ocean each year. And their message is, is aligned toward dealing with that from a sustainability perspective. At the same time, they're a for-profit company trying to make money, but they are trying to enlist you in their cause. And I think we talked about that with I'm not sure which speaker was talking about the sustainability and registering with them and getting in a place where your messaging aligns with a greater cause than just your business. I think this is a pretty good example of that. These folks are attacking the plastic issue, which many of us are concerned about, and they made it part and parcel of their message and their branding, which I think is kind of cool. So kind of continuing, they've got a little enclosed thing here, postcard or whatever you would call it. Again, it goes through their messaging about kick the tube, and it talks about their product, which is weird. It's a weird product, so they got to explain why, how this replaces your toothpaste that you buy. This little jar, which I'll show you in a second, has 4 months worth of product in it, which is, I guess, about how long toothpaste lasts. I'm not really sure. And again, they have their logo and their social media, Bite toothpaste bits. On the back, they're reinforcing their message of sustainability. They're thanking you, but they're also saying, hey, we are trying for a lower carbon footprint than you driving to the store and buying a tube of Crest or whatever. And they also encourage you to go to their website to read more. So it says read more at bitetoothpastebits.com. So again, I think this box is not cheap to put all this together, I wouldn't think, but it's pretty simple. And I think this insert, it's black and white, it's not 4-color. I don't think it's a big deal to put something like this in a package. So here's the product. I don't know how well you can see this. It's blurry on my end, but it's a pretty standard container. There's nothing fancy about it, and their label, I would argue, is very, very plain, black and white. Says it contains 248 bits inside. You can see it in the box there. It gives instructions on how to use it, and kind of a standard list of ingredients, and kind of the stuff that they have in it. Again, they're reinforcing their sustainability message as much as possible. But there's nothing, I don't think, anything untowardly expensive or complex. It's a very simple package from my perspective. I know it may be hard to see. I apologize. I'm not sure how to make this camera focus better. But anyway, these are the little pellets. You put it in your mouth, and then you can start brushing. You don't need to squeeze toothpaste. You just bite on one of these little pellets. And then in the box also, underneath the product, they got another little thing that says, hey, let's see if we can get this to show. I don't know how I'm not trash. Please reuse, recycle, or compost this box. So I think, the idea of sustainability and reinforcing their brand alignment, if you will, with sustainability is pretty clear. Excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to set this thing back up. And sorry about that. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see if I can come back here to our thing here. Apologize. Okay. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see me now and hear me. So my point in all of this is that I've shown you two examples, really of small brands without tremendous budget. They've spent time thinking about their delivery experience to their customer, and they messaged me. That both brands have sent me emails, have made offers to buy other products that they sell at a discount in some cases. So I don't know if you all have thought about this or are in the process of thinking about how to really encourage customers to buy again. So that's what I wanted to show you today, those two examples, and in talking about the customer journey. So I will open it up to you guys. Anybody wants to comment, and particularly about your thoughts on this and what efforts you have made, in this arena. I guess the easiest thing to do is call on people. So Ann Jones, I'll check on you first. What do you think, Ann?
I think there's a lot of value in how you look at the packaging for your product. We do a lot of delivery for e-commerce companies.
Well, Ann apparently having a few technical difficulties. Let's go to Ashley and see what she has to say.
I could hear Ann. Could no one else hear her?
Yeah, I could hear Ann too.
I can't hear you, Ashley.
Oh, man. I think he's got us on mute.
Huh.
Oh, bless his heart.
Hold up.
Can you hear me, Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, we could hear Ann and everybody. I think you were the only one that couldn't hear us.
Oh, sorry.
So, I don't know if you want to go back to Ann first.
Okay, let me try to do that. Okay, Ann?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Now I can hear you. I don't know why I couldn't hear you before.
I think there's a lot of value in that. We supply to two large customers, e-commerce customers across the country. One has basic packaging, and then the other requires us to use their own branded packaging. Both of them are branded. I take that back. They're both branded, but one is more the brown box. One is more sophisticated, more colorful. I've heard people talk about this before. It's like when you buy an iPhone or an iPad, how much work Apple has gone into the experience of opening up their products. So, it is, I like to open up something that gives me the experience of an iPhone. Don't necessarily want to pay for all of that. I do think there's value in it.
Yeah, I think it depends if your product is a commodity or, something special like a gift or some value added that's beyond a commodity. I think nobody wants to open up an iPhone when all they're doing is open up a bar of soap, right? At least I don't. So,
that's right. That's right.
I think it's, and I think everyone in our class, from off the top of my head, I think everybody's selling something value added. I don't think anybody's really providing commodity type things that I can think of. So.
And I also believe that the print, like the cards or the note cards, the labels or whatever, also make a big difference, at least when I open up something. And to your point, it does not cost a tremendous amount to get high quality printing done. That just gives you that extra push versus you doing it on your own printer at home.
Yeah.
Right in your office.
I think also not only the quality of the print, but I think what goes on it, you really usually provide ways for the customer to connect with you, right? And the examples I showed today, there were websites, there were social media, there was hashtag, a variety of ways that these brands encourage me to connect with them. So I think the quality of the printing is important. The message is likewise important, and communicating channels that people can connect with you, I think, is also an important part of that.
All good.
All right. Ashley, I'll call on you now.
Yeah, for me, I like to do a lot of stuff, even though I'm not really focused on like eco-friendly. My thing is more of like I'm geared towards mental health, but I still want to keep like my packaging as eco-friendly as possible. And a lot of people that buy stuff from me, like it's all nature inspired stuff, so they really appreciate like the paper that I use to pack stuff and the paper boxes and things that you can recycle. So I even, for jewelry and stuff, a lot of people use those little, well, I don't know exactly what a lot of people use, but I use moss, like real moss, to kind of like package it and make it a little bit safer. And a lot of people love that. And they're like, wow, is this real? And some of them will even take that and put it in their plants or their crafts and stuff like that. So even just like the box that you opened last, with it had the little note about, hey, don't forget to recycle me and stuff like that. I might even think about adding like a note about the moss and like the box recycle, because I think some people still ask me if it's real or not. I feel like they would appreciate the fact that it is real. So I do that, and I usually stamp the boxes with my logo when it ships out. And then I have like a little info card, a business card, and like a random sticker that I usually put in there. And sometimes I'll just have like tiny little crystals that I'll stick in there as extra things, which it kind of adds a little extra surprise, even though it's very small and it doesn't really cost me anything, because they're just crystals that I get in bulk and they're small and I can't really sell them. But yeah, so that's what I do for packing. And I feel like that really has a huge impact on like a buyer's experience, even though it is something it's like you're going to throw away probably.
Yeah. Do you use codes that they can get like a deal on a reorder or anything like that?
I haven't, like I did it a long time ago. I haven't done that lately. So right now I'm trying to set up like a rewards program. Maybe I could even just add that in there. Like, cause once you get a certain amount of points, you get a certain dollar amount that you can spend in the shop. So that might be something. It's just, for me, it would be harder to send out a coupon because a lot of people have repeat orders, and I would obviously start to forget who has the code already. And I don't want someone to have the code that they can use literally in every single order. Like, I don't know. Like, this is kind of something I'm thinking about. So that's why I'm trying to do the rewards program instead.
Yeah. Also, another approach to that issue is like a VIP club or some sort of organized group that you let people be part of. I noticed with the websites doing the live shows that we talked about yesterday, almost all of them have set up VIP clubs on Facebook. So they're Facebook groups that are different than their regular Facebook, and they actually do live shows to that group that's different than the main one. So I think that's another thought.
There's something that I've kind of been doing that's sort of similar to that. Like on Instagram, they have a close friends list. So what I've been trying to do is I'll find the people that'll, post something on Instagram with the piece. Like I'll add them to that list, and like I'll give them maybe like a sneak peek or a special that is only for the people in that list, which kind of adds a little bit of extra, like, hey, I'm part of something a little more special than just like your average customer or something like that. Yeah.
I like that. Hey, Marcus, you're dealing with technology with an app, so your deliverables are different. But what are your thoughts on this whole idea of delivering an experience to the end user?
Yeah, so we're technology, and the way your application looks, the way they transact with you from the very beginning has to be easy, and it has to be convenient. I mean, if you look at companies like Amazon, Uber Eats, Walmart, DoorDash, Lyft, Target, those type of companies that make it easier for consumers to transact on their platform. That's kind of what we do and what we're doing. But after they transact, what happens after that? So you have to have a great experience throughout the process, and then you have to have, a great experience after the process. So, like one of the things that we do, we have reminder emails that go out, or an automated email that says, hey, you've scheduled an appointment. Here's what to expect next. To edit or cancel, click here. Or you missed your appointment, to reschedule, or if you have a question, click here. That takes them into another communication channel to try to retain the customer with the company. Is really important. But yeah, the way it looks and the way it feels with technology is very similar to how a consumer-facing product, a physical product, should be handled the same way. It has to be familiar to the customer. It has to be easy, and it has to be convenient. And if you can do those things, then you'll have a lot of success, I think.
Marcus, have you ever looked at partnering with organizations that might be additive to you or your offer, like I don't know what a good example would be. Maybe ExxonMobil oil as, as one possible example. Does that enter into the experience from your perspective?
Yes, I mean we are currently working on our roadmap, but we're currently working on a solution where a consumer can come into our site and they can say, I want a fast oil change, or I want a certified mechanic to do my oil change, or I want the cheapest price on my oil change, or I want it done right now. They can decide how they want their service, and it'll find a facility and connect them with them based off of what they need. But yeah, I mean, with Exxon, the consumer experience is so important because, for an example, is if you were to select a lower dollar item, are you recommending a higher dollar item on the next screen? Mm-hmm. Are you automatically upselling the customer on a higher dollar item? And that's what big companies get excited about. They get excited about selling a higher gross dollar item. Can you help them with that? And if you can, then you're solving a problem for them already. Is that you're adding net profit to their bottom line just by asking a question. When you walk into a store, or if you make a phone call to a store, in our case, a customer needs an oil change for Tuesday at 3:00. So they call the dealership, and the person, and they get transferred maybe 5 or 6 times before they actually get a live person. And when they do get a live person, they say, you know what, I'll schedule that oil change for you Tuesday at 3:00. No problem. And they don't offer any additional things. They just say that's what we'll do. But with our solution, it automatically upgrades you or recommends an upgraded item to you automatically. And it does it every single time, no matter what. It doesn't call out sick. It doesn't get emotional about the deal. It doesn't have a bad attitude. It doesn't show up late. It asks every single time. And if you can do that in your business and automate selling, it's good for you.
Yeah. Do you get any pushback from customers that feel like it's under high pressure in any way?
Absolutely not. And the reason for it is because the customer's in control. Okay. They're in control. It's a lot different when you have an individual in front of you trying to put pressure on you to buy something additional, but it's different when you're in control and you can say yes or no.
Okay.
Just by using your phone, just by the press of a button, you can say yes or no. So it's actually easier for the customer that way.
Okay. I like that. Colleen, I'll call on you. What is your experience with delivering products and feedback from customers?
Well, products, I'm currently working on product repackaging just because the way my company is going, I'm changing colors. So product repackaging is definitely my main goal that I'm working on now. They love the packaging, the bags that I use because I'm using the rose gold color. So they love that color, but that color is really hard to find. So yeah, I definitely have to go through a product repackaging or get something closer to it, because rose gold is definitely a hard color to find, as well as it's very expensive.
Okay. So in your case, you're looking for really a more sustainable package from your point of view, and number, affordability, and while still being appealing to the customers. That makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. How about you, Cameron? Cameron, you're dealing with products and delivering them. What are your thoughts on this subject?
Yeah, we have always tried to set ourselves apart with our branding. We always use a lot of 90s loud patterns. Definitely trying to step it up. As you saw, we got the koozies. We try to send somebody a little free element every time, whether it's a koozie or a sticker. Yep, there you go. But yeah, we normally have custom mailers and boxes as well, which have kind of fallen off with Corona due to, the production times being a little longer. But hopefully when everything kind of picks up again, we can be consistent on everybody has that same wow experience, like the Bite unboxing.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else want to comment on this? Your experiences, or Holly? I don't know if you're more retail, I guess. People are coming into your farm and your farm store. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so, initially, and that's really funny because my dad and I were talking about this the other day. People come to us, which is something a little different than, everybody else on this call. But we also do a lot of farmers markets, whether it's in New Bern, Greenville, sometimes we've got to Washington. And one of the things the feedback that I always get is, they don't really realize who they're stopping with when they're at a farmer's market. And unfortunately, it's not like a squash can show you, what farm it came from. So we've always kind of struggled with the packaging and how we can get consumers to remember us, like, oh, we got this stuff at White's Farm, because nothing is really packaged other than our strawberries. And even if you go back to our strawberries, it's just a clear clamshell container with no label, because we are, everybody comes to us there at the farm. So we've always looked at labels and really trying to, bring consumers to, I guess, brand awareness of where they got their strawberries from. But I mean, honestly, packaging and sticking those things as high as a turnover as we have has not always been very productive for us, honestly, because we'll blow through hundreds and hundreds of pounds of strawberries in a couple of hours.
Wow. Yeah. So it's a different issue than receiving, one package or a couple packages.
Yeah, it really goes back to ROI. People who come to the farm know, oh yeah, I got these strawberries at White's Farm. But if they're, what if they're taking those strawberries to a friend who didn't know that they got them from White's Farm? And that's kind of where it's like, is it worth putting a sticker on all those clamshells? And then same thing at the market, there's well, not anymore, there used to be, but there's just us and another strawberry farmer at the market. I mean, it's either us or them. And plus, I mean, honestly, stickers and decals can be expensive.
Yeah.
And it's labor intensive, and we already have enough labor.
Yeah. Well, in thinking about that, has anybody, this is a little bit off the subject, but has anybody looked at things like contests or sweepstakes or giveaways or buy one, get one free? Any comments about that, that kind of thing from a branding perspective, or really kind of rewarding your customers? Anybody?
I offer the buy one lip gloss and get the other half off type of deals, and people are very responsive to that. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about doing it again for the weekend with some of my products that I'm trying to get off the shelves. But they work for me in the cosmetic world.
Okay, good to know. Anyone else have any thoughts on that or comments?
In the software world, we've offered our product free for like 60 days or even 90 days before, just to get people using it.
Yeah.
But like if people start using it, we have some value there where they'll have to use us moving forward. So yeah, we've done that. That's a common thing that we've done.
Yeah, I think trial, getting people to try it, and hopefully, depending on your product or service, how long does that have to go before it becomes a habit, I guess, is really the question. Hey, Will, what from your perspective, you're selling more of a service. How does all this fit into your world?
Customer experience is a huge thing for us, because good customer experience creates good customer satisfaction. So, we deal with clients who want it yesterday. They want the product as soon as it's created, delivered immediately. But, from the time our photographer shows up on site, we ask for them to be dressed in our uniforms. We ask for them to kind of speak our language, the way they answer their phone calls, the way they answer emails. We've kind of all, not so much templated, but we've guided them in the way that they should respond, in a way that the customer, I believe every sale is exactly the same. And if something works, keep doing it. Use it and use it and use it. If we had a tangible, more tangible good, such as the one you displayed earlier, that was a great example. I mean, it really does a great way, and Apple's probably the best at it. As soon as you open it up, your iPad says hello to you. I mean, that creates that want to get more from that company. And, the way that I've said it to you before, the relationships we build are as equally as important as the images we create. So creating that level of customer service that they come to expect and recognize from us really creates them coming back to us over and over.
Yeah, would you characterize the efforts you make as, are they a lot of extra expense, or is it just part of normal business? How would you characterize that?
I'm literally writing my SOPs right now. So I think it's just going through and documenting all your processes that you like, such as the young man who's selling hats. The way that if you get an email, go ahead and template your response on how you can respond back to that customer, and see if it works, see the response you get, and then possibly curtail it a different way. But when one thing works, just use it and use it and use it, because I mean, if you keep switching it up, your customers are, it's kind of like, say you go to a barber shop and your hairdresser gives you a beer and then gives you a warm towel. And then the next time you go back, she gives you a beer but doesn't give you a warm towel. You're going to ask where that warm towel is. Yeah. And then the third time you go, you don't get the beer. You're going to ask where the customer service is coming from. There's nothing you can grow as an expectation.
Yeah, hopefully you won't get a warm beer, right?
Hey, that was my college days. No.
Okay. Well, that's all I have for today, folks. If anybody wants to comment further on this, on Monday we're going to have a speaker. I don't know if you all know Mark Wadowick. He's the managing partner of East Carolina Angels, which is a local angel network that he has set up. He's real interested in talking to you all, explaining a little bit more about his world of venture capital and angel funds and all that kind of thing. So I think that'll be pretty interesting. And also next week, we're going to have a presentation from a guy who's one of my closest friends, who actually works with all the major pharmaceutical companies in the whole world. And he is a emotional intelligence and marketing kind of guy. Like what kind of skills do you need to have with your customers to develop your business? He's really good. I think you'll enjoy what he has to say. So those are two of the guest speakers for next week. So I'll send some more out on that, but I think both those guys are going to be well worth your time. So hopefully you'll be able to participate in that. Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to cover or talk about at this point? Okay, well, with that, then I'll say goodbye to everyone for now, and we'll see you on Monday.